I remember in May of 2021, after the second wave of COVID pandemic finally concluded after 6 months, I strongly felt the effects of it. Like for example, my communication skill being completely out of the window, my video games and social media addictions were through the fucking roof. And worst of all, my mental health was at its complete lowest. Just imagine this, right? You're sitting in your house through the entirety of winter, not being allowed to go outside because it is, like negative 10 degrees Celsius outside. And they are scaring you in the news that, oh, COVID is spreading through like the air and stuff like that, so we shouldn't go outside past like 8 p.m. And it was just horrible. Like literally we weren't even allowed to go out for a walk. The only way for us to just step outside of our house and go for some kind of a walk was if we had a dog and if we, had to walk him, but that was only allowed for like 100 meters. Past that, you couldn't go anywhere. And so during COVID and distant education, I got very complacent. I got very comfortable. And you know what happens? When a man gets comfortable, he becomes weak. He becomes overthinking. He becomes the worst version of himself. Like the most pathetic, the most depressed, the most anxiety-full piece of shit that you can imagine. When I say that quarantine had a huge effect on my mental health, I definitely mean it. There were literally times after the COVID pandemic, even still, when I looked in the mirror before I went to sleep, like when I was changing to my pajamas, I just looked at myself and I felt disgusted. But not in a way disgusted that like I wanted to throw up. I mean like that disgusted, like it was just raw disappointment, feeling my entire body. The feeling of, you don't deserve to live. What are you doing on this planet? And I'm not gonna go really deep into this, but there were even few days when I was thinking about how it would look like if I just wasn't around anymore. That's how dark all of this got. But don't worry, I am way better now. This became very prominent when I was at school. I remember between September of 2021 and June of 2022, it was my last year on primary school, and so that only meant one thing, that we were gonna move to middle school, a step higher in the education system in Slovakia. And so naturally, the teachers were testing us like there was no tomorrow. Because we had these two really important exams coming up in April and May, and so they wanted to squeeze as much knowledge as they could from us. And so they took us, depressed, anxiety-full 14-year-old kids who were soaked in complacency during the pandemic, and they were yelling at us every single goddamn day before we actually graduated. They were saying stuff like, we were learning this like 4 years ago, you should know this by now. Or for example, you want to go to a secondary language school? Just go learn engineering and stuff like that. They won't accept you. All of this psychological, all of this depressive torturing that they were putting onto us eventually compacted, and it fucking broke me. You know the saying, everything can either make you or break you. My 14-year-old self wasn't stoic enough to handle this pressure. And so every single day, as they were testing us, and I don't mean like, in a feminine way, like, making fun of us, trying to get us to actually study, they were doing it through actual tests. Like they were giving us these listenings, these exercises, and they were masking it like, oh, don't worry, it's just an everyday exercise, like how we did it in past grades. And then they would give us a fucking grade for it. There was even a time during this 1 year period when they were literally giving us grades for our fucking homework. But that's besides the point. This forged me into the type of person that, when he sat every day behind these tests, he just thought to himself, you can't do it. You don't have enough energy. You don't deserve to have a good grade. I was trying to talk to my friends. They won't listen to you. You are not compatible with them. They won't laugh with you. They will laugh at you, you stupid piece of shit. I wanted to watch some YouTube to forget about reality. What do you mean you're watching YouTube? You're not even using 10% of your potential, and you think that you deserve this pleasure? I wanted to fav because none of my female classmates would notice me. We are just pathetic. Every time when I would try to do something, my mind would be completely against me, and that was the worst thing. However, this broke me in the short term, but in the long term, this has made me. Because you see, in summer of 2023, I made the best decision of my life, and I got onto self-improvement, and I discovered gratitude journaling. And this one singular good habit changed my entire life forever, for the better. Many people get self-improvement wrong. Self-improvement isn't just being a lone wolf, alpha sigma male and all of this bullshit like that, where you just sit down and you work on your affiliate marketing business for 12 hours straight. No, self-improvement is taking all of the areas in man's life and becoming better at it. That's why it's called self-improvement. Yeah, sure, building your online business is a part of it, but self-improvement is also about improving your physical and mental health also. And improving the relationships with the people around you also. And so, when I got onto this healthy self-improvement, when I started to wake up at 5 a.m. to meditate, to exercise, to gratitude journal, when I started to journal in the night to solve my thoughts, and when I actually started to improve the relationships with the people around me, even though I'm not the authentically most social person around, but at least I try, I've still found great amount of progress. And this progress made me into the man that I am today. Now when I look into the mirror, I can actually be proud of myself. My parents even make fun of me on how much I flex every time when I look in the mirror. But when I just see those biceps and I compare them to the times when I left the COVID pandemic, when I compare myself to my 14-year-old self who was barely doing any push-ups at all, who didn't even know about the concept of gratitude journaling, of meditation, of journaling, of actually taking your thoughts and solving them and using them to your advantage, to that version of myself who barely knew about Stoicism at all, then I'm a totally different person, and I can finally say that I'm proud of myself. And how? Because my subconscious mind now generates positive thoughts in my head. Every time when I do something, like record a video, my subconscious mind tells me, you go TR, you have recorded so many powerful videos, so of course you can record this one. Every time when I try to cold approach someone or warm approach, my subconscious mind generates a positive outcome. Every time when I take a test in school, for example, my subconscious mind tells me that it's gonna be okay. It's really easy. Like look, this was literally in the notes. Like this question, for example. Oh, and this one also, you got this in the back. Let's go. I am the happiest that I've ever been in my entire life. And I'm so grateful for it. And so let's be completely honest with each other. You probably haven't done any work at all to actually fix your mental health. You see, your overthinking of negative thoughts is a byproduct of your shitty mental health. And so if you haven't done anything to take care of yourself and to make any kind of masculine progress in your life, then you fucking deserve. You genuinely deserve to have these negative thoughts. I know that that is really a dickhead thing of me to say, but it is the truth. And I'm just saying how it is. And so in this video, we will go over how you can deserve to have a good mental health and to finally get those positive thoughts in your head, to literally win over your subconscious mind and rewire it for success so that it is constantly on your side, whatever you decide to do. And so the first thing that you must start doing is to start doing 4 really healthy habits, and these are exercising, journaling, gratitude journaling, and meditation. Let's go over them one by one. I don't need to explain exercising because that is already obvious to all of us, but gratitude journaling is when you sit down in the morning before the day actually starts and you write down on your notes app, or for example in real life in a notebook, I am grateful for X because of Y, and this is the most important good habit. You write out something that you're grateful for, something that makes your life easier. Now these can be positive things, but it can be also negative things. It can be, for example, I am grateful for my dad's car because even though it is old and rusty, it still can drive me to school, and that is really good thing because I don't have to take the bus and talk to my neighbors. You. But it can be also negative things, like for example, I am grateful for the time when I was genuinely threatened by dogs barking at me and running over to me, because that is motivating me to learn martial arts, to learn to defend myself. Gratitude journaling makes you a more positive thinker, a happier person, because now you view everything not as a loss, but as a win, as something that you can take a powerful life lesson from it. Because suddenly you find yourself more fascinated by the nature, by all the clouds, even on a rainy day. You suddenly find yourself being grateful for everything that you have, for your mother, for your father, for your mobile phone, for the books that you already have that you can read and take knowledge from. Now, there are 2 modes that you can do gratitude journaling. There's the manual mode and there's the passive mode. Manual mode is what we just described, sitting down and actually manually thinking about the positive thoughts about something that you're grateful for and something that you can benefit from. Like, even if it's a negative thing, like for example, I'm grateful for this rainy day that it is today because I can ride on myself in peace. But it can be also passive. This can be, for example, when you're not trying as hard. It can be like you being in a restaurant by the nature and you look at the clouds and you see that it is cloudy. You can be grateful for that. And why? Because it is benefiting our Earth. If there were no clouds, the sun would fry us. You need to find the positive in everything. I know that this is such a cliche shit to say, but it truly works. And it is something that has forged me into the man that I am today. The third good habit that I want you to start doing is journaling. Journaling is where you take your thoughts, for example, that you get every single day, and you put them somewhere. It can be, for example, a notebook, your notes app, anything, as long as you can put it inside of it. Or it can be, for example, something that you learned through a book or from a video, whatever. And once you get the thought and you put it, like you literally manually write it down, you try to solve it. If it is a thought about your potential online business, then you can ask yourself, why did you get the thought? And you would be surprised at how much you will find about yourself. And the fourth good habit that I want you to start doing is meditation. Meditation is when you sit down, you close your eyes, and you focus on one thing and one thing only for an extended period of time. It can be, for example, your breath, your heartbeat, the birds singing outside, the wind touching your skin, anything, as long as you can focus on it for an extended period of time. Now, how do these benefit you? Well, the first thing that they have in common is that they give you a sign of progress. And progress is the antidote to depression. Like, think about it. 6 months from now, where your biceps are a little bit larger, when you can focus for a little longer, when you're grateful for the mirror that you have, and when you already have your purpose in life that you will eventually turn into an online business that will fulfill you. Of course, after you go through so many trials and tribulations to get this delayed gratification, you won't feel as depressed anymore. You won't feel as much insecure about yourself, as much anxietyful. But you'll finally get positive thoughts into your head because you deserve them. And the second way that these benefit you is individual. Exercising just makes you physically stronger, like duh. Gratitude journaling just manually makes you think about positive things because it makes you ask yourself why you're grateful for something. Journaling just makes you more mindful about yourself and makes you find out more about yourself, and it gets rid of all of the junk thoughts that you get every single day, and eventually you will get so good at journaling that you can do it even passively inside of your head, and you can even pick up the most important thoughts that you get during the day and then solve them later as you're actually manually journaling. Because of course, 99% of thoughts that you get every single day are useless. But the 1% is what you want to solve during your journaling session. And meditation just makes you more mindful. It fixes your attention span. It makes you more present and more focused so that you don't focus on your bad thoughts, but actually focus on the real life in front of you, so that you get more creative about the things that make your life easier on a daily basis. For example, I want you to start doing exercising, gratitude journaling and meditation every time when you wake up, and every day, 1 hour before you go to sleep, you start your journaling session, and you do it for at least 5 minutes, and then slowly progressively overload it. You don't have to go all out, just write one thought that you got today. And when you're starting out with these good habits also, like for example in the morning, just write one sentence of gratitude journaling. Just meditate for 10 seconds. Just do 10 push-ups. It's not that hard, man. And then slowly, progressively overload it as time goes on. And eventually the positive thoughts will come as your self-esteem grows through the progress that you're gonna make every single day. You just need to have the patience, and you must also improve in the 3 big desires of men, and those are relationships, wealth, and health. These 4 good habits will only improve you in the health category, but if you want to grow like there's no tomorrow in the wealth and the relationships category also, then you can join our Discord clan in the description. Because I believe that if you're watching this video almost 18 minutes in, that you have way more potential than you think you have. Because you can actually sit down and do the work. And that right there is a very powerful trait that is very valuable, especially in our modern world. In our Discord clan, you will find people who share the same values as you, the same goals, the same trials and tribulations, the same likes and dislikes. They will literally become your competition, and also strong brothers with whom you can talk about anything self-improvement related. And you know what they say, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you want to leave your surroundings behind and leave the 99% of people that have been holding you back through your entire life and actually make a change for yourself to become successful and grow like there's no tomorrow, then you're welcomed in our family. We will take good care of you, and I know that you'll find your place in there. But even if you don't decide to join, then that's fine. If you're just willing to take action on this video, then that proves to me that you're still destined to success. Don't worry, God has His plans for you. All you have to do is just stay consistent on 4 of these good habits, and eventually the negative thoughts will go away and they will be replaced by reassuring, positive and mindful positive thoughts that will drive you forward as a man. You can like this video, you can subscribe if you like, join the email list in the description and get yourself a free ebook. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most and which part of the video you will implement. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become the best version of yourself with us by your side. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you